Hi. Within this interview, we're continuing with Michael Tsarion and insights and perspectives that we have found within our own practical process that would assist and support his work to become more effective in assisting and supporting human beings within actual self-change. Because, as I've mentioned, the point that has always been missed throughout time with many real beings that have walked the earth is that it is the actual human being in their entirety that is required to change, the entire who I am, to make a definitive change within this world. Another point to consider with regards to what we found within the polarity of good and evil, where Michael Tsarion discusses the existence of good and evil, and what we found with regards to the design of good and evil is that it is a design. We have extensively investigated this point interdimensionally and within ourselves, how we actually within ourselves create the polarity of and as good and evil, and how that living existence of ourselves within and as the polarity of good and evil has manifested as a real actual existence within this world, where human beings within themselves and the world in its entirety constantly exist within the conflict of the battle between good and evil. And we've walked a process, let's say a path of fighting for good, meaning constantly pressing upon ourselves to remain good and abolish the evil within ourselves. But a very fascinating thing happened, and that is that the evil merely expounded and expanded. It didn't go away. No matter how much we forced and pushed ourselves to remain good and live that which is good, the evil simply grew and intensified and was just always there, constantly like a voice in the back of your head, or within worldly experiences, saying, I'm still here, kind of almost like a conscience, wanting to test constantly if you're good, and you're just pushing and forcing, and it's a constant inner struggle to just remain good, be good, live good, and finally we stopped, because we just said, whoa, something's happening here. No matter how much we try and live only good, the evil actually becomes more intense, and then it doesn't even become about living good. It now becomes wanting to fight the evil off the whole time, to in such a way assist and support self to just ensure that I remain good. Then we found the design of polarity. The design of polarity exists within the mind consciousness system, which is basically the mind system. And it was designed within the unified consciousness field, the world reality, where good and evil was created as the polarity of light and dark. And that, for example, if I continue resisting what is evil, if I continue wanting to fight what is evil, and within that continuous resistance and fighting and kind of shoving off or shoving away of the evil, focusing all my energy, all my attention on wanting to be good, I created a massive resistance on both sides, because what's happening is that I'm, let's say, polarizing good with so much energy, with so much, because of the amount of attention and focus I'm giving to wanting to remain good. And within that combination of energy in wanting to remain good, I'm depolarizing evil. And what happens is, within that comes into play the law of balance. Because here I'm polarizing good to such an extreme extent that I'm depleting evil, so to speak. And then what evil does to want to balance itself out again, because good and evil is now a design polarity, positive, negative, I'm creating a total imbalance. And then what evil does is push, force, so it can take its energy back from good. And that's the constant conflict that is happening between good and evil, both within and without. So, we stopped. We said, we realized that if I continue existing within this polarity of good and evil, constantly putting all my focus and attention only on good, polarizing good to such an extent that it is literally depleting evil, and evil, all that evil wants to do is balance itself out, and then there's a constant seesawing between good, evil, good, evil, good, evil, good, evil. And that polarity manifestation happens both within self, because you can see it in your thoughts, for example. Suddenly you have these wonderful thoughts and you have these negative thoughts, and then negative is being polarized and then positive is being taken from, and then positive wants to balance itself out, then you have positive thoughts again. If you simply observe your thoughts always go positive, negative, good, evil, good, evil. And within existing as that, we were busy destroying ourselves, because we're constantly going there, then we have an up experience, then we have a down experience. There's never an equilibrium. There's always conflict, there's always a battle. And then there's the case of morality, wanting to be good because evil is bad, and in creating evil as bad, we're again creating a resistance towards evil, and in that resistance towards evil, again draining energy from evil itself as the polarity design, and then evil wants to balance itself out again, and then evil kind of fights back, and then you give in, and then it balances for a second, and then you're back in wanting to be good again, and it was just an entire mess. And in that mess, we were literally destroying ourselves as who we are. So we required to become an actual equilibrium, not a neutral point between good and evil. No, an actual living equilibrium itself. Right, in the next interview, I'll explain what we found with regards to equilibrium. Thanks.